What if the Apostle Paul wrote his 13 New Testament letters today? What would he write to America? What would he write to China? What would he write to Ethiopia? What would he write to the nations of the world today? Let's find out in this video. Hey guys, welcome back to another video on our channel where we bring you the most up-to-date news from around the world with a biblical perspective. In today's video, we're going to be looking at a very interesting topic that is both timely and relevant for all of us as believers today. The Apostle Paul, one of the most prolific writers of the New Testament, penned 13 letters that have shaped the course of Christian history. But what if he were alive today? What if Paul wrote his letters in today's context? How would his message resonate with modern audiences? That's exactly what we're going to explore in today's video. We lines examine what Paul might write to various countries and communities today and how his timeless teachings can speak to contemporary issues and challenges. So grab a cup of coffee, sit back, and join us as we embark on this thought-provoking journey through the words of the Apostle Paul. Ethiopia. It has been said that Ethiopia is the cradle of humanity, and it is fitting that from this ancient land, the first letter written by Paul should come. Ethiopia has a rich history, culture, and spiritual heritage, and in recent years has become known for its stunning natural beauty and the warmth of its people. Yet, like every nation, Ethiopia faces its own unique set of challenges. I can imagine Paul writing a letter that addresses these issues and encourages the Ethiopian church to remain steadfast in their faith while also engaging with their culture and society. Dear church in Ethiopia, greetings to you from a fellow servant of Christ. I am writing to encourage you to stand firm in the face of adversity, remain steadfast in your faith, and never compromise your integrity. The gospel message is a powerful force for change in the world, and it has the ability to transform lives. You are called to be lights in the world, shining brightly for Jesus Christ. Don't let anything extinguish your light. Another challenge facing many Ethiopians today is poverty and inequality. It is hard not to notice the stark contrast between the opulence of some and the destitution of others. Paul was no stranger to hardship and understood what it meant to live in poverty. He may have written about the importance of helping the poor and sharing resources with those in need. Dear church in Ethiopia, love one another deeply. Resist the evil one, therefore resist him steadfastly, knowing that no temptation has overtaken you except such as is common to man. God is faithful, who will not allow you to be tempted beyond what you can bear, but with the temptation will also make the way of escape that you may be able to bear it. Therefore, my beloved, and I ask you, even in the sight of God, to be a blessing to those who are blessed, and do and forget those who are poor. Paul knew that the early church faced persecution, and so he would have likely reminded them of the need to endure hardship for the sake of the gospel. He may have encouraged them to rely on God's strength and to trust in his promises. Dear church in Ethiopia, consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, since you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, lacking nothing. Resist the devil, and he will flee. Resist, therefore, evil one, and stand firm. Resist him steadfastly, believing that God will help you. In addition to these themes, Paul's letter to Ethiopia might have also covered topics such as unity, holiness, evangelism, and discipleship. He would have emphasized the need for the church to be united, holy, actively sharing the gospel, and committed to making disciples. His letter would have been a call to action, urging the Ethiopian church to live out their faith and make a difference in their communities and the world. America, the land of opportunity, America has long been seen as a beacon of hope and prosperity for people around the world. However, beneath the glossy surface of this seemingly perfect nation lies a deep moral decline and a longing for something more. In his letter to America, Paul may have addressed these issues and challenged believers to live lives that reflect God's values and bring hope to a hurting world. Dear Church in America, I want to remind you to walk in love, to be devoted to one another. Resist the evil one, therefore resist him steadfastly, knowing that no temptation has overtaken you except such as is common to man. God is faithful, who will not allow you to be tempted beyond what you can bear, but with the temptation will also make the way of escape that you may be able to bear it. The church in America is often criticized for being focused on prosperity and social status rather than on helping the poor and marginalized. Paul would have likely addressed this issue and reminded believers of the need to care for those in need. Dear Church in America, you who are blessed, don't forget those who are not blessed. You who are rich, don't forget those who are poor. Rather, bless the poor. Remember the poor, and with your blessings, give them what they need. In America, there is a growing divide between people of different political views and lifestyles. This division can lead to anger, hatred, and even violence. Paul would have likely addressed this issue and called for believers to live in unity and love despite their differences. Dear Church in America, make no mistake, the enemy uses division to cause destruction. Therefore, guard against all kinds of greed, for a woman's heart is insatiable. That of the king is as the one of the poor. If abundance is our God, then we really lack understanding. We only have this. We have now that we know God, and if we know Him, we know that we have everything. Unity and love are essential to the Christian faith, and Paul would have likely reminded American believers of the need to live out these values in their relationships with others. Dear Church in America, love one another as I have loved you. Greater love has no one than this, that one lay down his life for his friends. You are my friends if you do what I command you. I no longer call you servants, for the servant does not know what his master is doing. But I have called you friends, for everything that I heard from my Father I have made known to you. As a pastor and an evangelist, Paul would have likely also addressed issues such as false teaching and immorality that were prevalent in the church during his time. He may have called for believers to hold fast to the truth and to live lives that are pleasing to God. Dear Church in America, beware of those who cause divisions and create obstacles contrary to the doctrine that you have been taught, avoiding them. For such people, judgment has already been passed. And as for you, if anyone teaches you anything contrary to what you have heard from him, saying that we should not continue in this world, he who teaches and he who receives that teaching are alike under God's wrath. If we have continued in this world, it is so that we may judge the world. We are God's ministers, having received the word of reconciliation. Therefore, let him who is in the debt of sin give himself up to righteousness. Resist the devil, and he will flee. Resist, therefore, evil one, and stand firm. Resist him steadfastly, believing that God will help you. The Apostle Paul's potential letter to America highlights the timeless relevance of his teachings. Even in today's world, his words can serve as a reminder for believers to live lives that are centered on God, characterized by love, unity, and a commitment to holiness. May we heed his call to walk in the light, resist temptation, and proclaim the gospel with boldness and unwavering faith. China. The rise of China on the global stage has been nothing short of remarkable. From its ancient roots to its modern metropolis, China has a rich history and cultural heritage. Yet today, the country faces a multitude of challenges, and believers there need guidance and encouragement. In his letter to the church in China, Paul would likely address issues related to persecution, false teaching, and social injustice, offering words of wisdom and comfort to those who are suffering for their faith. Dear church in China, greetings to you from a fellow servant of Christ. I am writing to you in the midst of your suffering. Be courageous, be strong, be resolute, take heart. Look, our present afflictions are but momentary and light, and they're producing for us an eternal weight of glory far beyond all comparison. So look straight ahead toward what lies ahead and not to the things behind. Let us therefore run with perseverance the race marked out for us. Let us fix our eyes on Jesus, the pioneer and the perfecter of our faith, who for the joy set before him endured the cross, scorning its shame, and sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. Resist the devil, and he will flee. Resist, therefore, evil one, and stand firm. Resist him steadfastly, believing that God will help you. As we conclude our exploration of what the Apostle Paul might have written to the church in China, Ethiopia, and America, we are left with profound insights into his timeless teachings and their relevance to our lives today. Paul's words are a beacon of light in a world that desperately needs hope and guidance. Whether we are facing persecution, struggling with doubt, or simply seeking to live a life that honors God, Paul's teachings offer us comfort, encouragement, and practical advice. As we continue to walk in the footsteps of this great apostle, may we be inspired by his unwavering faith and commitment to spreading the gospel of Jesus Christ. Let us remember that we are not alone in our struggles and that God is with us every step of the way. With that said, until next time, remember to stay blessed.